Notaspringchick, and today now we've got the official list for composting, because composting, as you've heard, is not quite as easy as it sounds. In fact, well, is it even worth doing, you wonder? For some people, well, they really want to do it and they have the time to do it. Others, well, you know, maybe it requires too much space. But here's some of my things that you may not have known. That compost can suppress plant diseases and pests. I didn't know that. It can reduce the need for chemical fertilizers.
That's because the compost is created
it's a fertilizer.
That's right.
It's to help you promote higher yields for your agricultural crops. It facilitates reforestation, wetlands restoration, habitat revitalization. All of these things are good for the environment. I mean, cost effectively remediate soils contaminated by hazardous waste. So now that part, I didn't know that you can actually turn back hazardous waste with composting. Now that would be a reason to do it. It also removes soils, solids, oils, grease, and heavy metals from storm water runoff. And there's
well, actually, I did see something on the Green Channel about hazardous waste. They were using human hair to soak up oil.
Human hair?
Human hair to soak up, or actually hair, you know, from other animals. They were using it to make hair mats to soak it up. Then they took it to a facility. Then they planted mushrooms, you know, like oyster mushrooms. The oyster mushrooms changed the oil into something that they could live off of, and basically you got rid of all the oil that way.
Wow, so part of
that is composting.
That's composting with...
But it's industrial style, though.
Okay, but it's a way of knowing. Well, part of it is, do you really know? I mean, part of it is, I guess, if you just make a compost, it's supposed to get better, and, well, that's a good reason for composting. And it also says that, here's a good reason why, that yard trimmings and food residuals together constitute 23% of the U.S. waste stream, as documented by the EPA. It's 23%. I had no idea that it was so high. I thought it was all those
I thought it was higher than that. I
would think it would have been.
Okay, 1/3 of every construction project is waste.
Well, you know, the hazardous waste can break down those things. Like, for example, if you have concrete, wood, things like that, contact your sanitation department, because they can break it down. They have the means to do it. It's a whole lot easier than it not be mixed. But part of it is you have to get it over there, or have them pick it up, because they will pick up large size trash. Once. Is it once per year?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, after that maybe they charge you, or you have to take it over there. Let's see. It says an estimated 56.9% of yard trimmings were recovered for composting or grass cycled in the year 2000, which is a dramatic increase of 12% compared to 1990.
Well, I think
so
it's probably
moving in the right direction.
Yeah, it's probably baggers.
Baggers.
Because baggers on your lawn equipment, which allows you, instead of having to rake it, then you can just dump it into something else to be used to be recovered in.
See, actually, that would make a lot of sense. Of course, I don't know how much space do you need for this. Now, here's an idea: is what's in for composting and what is out. They have a huge list of it. But here's some things that will surprise you. They have animal manure on here. This does not mean cats and dogs. This is like chickens, cows, right?
Yeah, horse.
Horse.
And even elephant.
Elephant?
Elephant manure is a very big thing for it because it's full of nitrogen.
Ah, so here's the other things. Cardboard rolls, clean paper. Clean paper can be, well, paper can be recycled anyway.
Yeah, toilet paper is a good thing to break down.
Ah, but it says clean paper, of course.
No, but
it might be easier to put in the recycle bin. Coffee grounds and filters are great for something like that. You can also just kind of mix it up really easily and put it around the base of the plants. Because you had suggested I do that at my place too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The coffee grounds. Now, don't do this at your office, because I've seen too many offices. Hey, look, there's a big Coors advertisement.
Yeah, what you do at the coffee grounds is you make it into a coffee type tea situation, and you pour the liquid and the coffee grounds all around your thing too. So add a little bit of beer in with it.
Ah, now that's the trick.
Right.
So don't try this at your office, because I've seen too many places at offices where people were just pouring the coffee grounds, and
no, because
not the way to do that.
Basically what they're doing is they're creating a ground cover by using the coffee grounds. Because in an office it's not going to decompose. Outside it won't get you as much nutrient in as you like, but it will decompose itself over time outside over 4 or 5 months.
The other part is if you have a plant that people have been dumping stuff into and you want to help clean it out, I've heard that you can water it with distilled water to help rid some of the stuff that was put in there.
Yeah, and okay, what you need to do is, you can go to the library and do research. There's a lot of old methods of composting that additives you put in, like beer, you put in other ingredients in it to help make things work better. But the library would be a good source of info.
They're a really good source because, see, the thing is, you're hearing about beer. I sat there and did research on the internet. Nowhere did I see any reference to beer, so those are in the older archives.
Actually, yeah, no, because
You used to do it at your
I used
place.
to do it because it's just a means of accelerating the process, because beer is full of a lot of carbohydrates and sugar.
Okay.
So you can mix it in. What you do is you mix it in. A lot of times you're supposed to spray water on top of the compost.
Right.
You mix it in. You put the beer in with the sprayer, and you do it that way.
Okay, it makes a difference. Now here's some other things you probably would not be expecting: dryer and vacuum cleaner lint, fireplace ashes.
Don't put too many fireplace ashes in because it's too alkali.
Too alkali? Okay.
You do it you sprinkle it, and then that's it. Because you put too much in, you make your compost too alkali, and it won't work.
See, this is from somebody that knows. Yes, tea bags, nutshells.
Tea bags are good, but I would cut the tea bags open
Open
now.
them up?
Yeah.
So they don't have to break open the...
That's right, because it helps it.
Okay, so that's part of the endless. For completeness, go to the EPA.gov, do your research. There's also a website called Compost 101 that I thought was quite good too. Now here's some things that are on the out list. Do not put these in compost. Black walnut tree leaves or twigs.
Because iodine.
Release a substance. Okay, that's the iodine that might be harmful. Coal or charcoal ash.
Alkali.
Dairy products.
Dairy products, they curdle up and will spoil.
Odor problems, right?
Yeah.
From the spoiling. Diseased or insect-ridden plants. I think that kind of goes with...
Yeah, because basically you don't want to put something that has died from a disease or full of insects in it, because it destroys your compost also.
Ah, so whatever killed the other thing. Okay.
They will kill your compost.
Fats, grease, lard, or oils.
Actually, because they produce microorganisms which are harmful to the soil.
See, and he hasn't even... This is like having off the top of his head. Meat or fish bones and scraps.
Never put bones in compost of any type.
Really? Why not?
Because they don't decompose.
Oh, that's why the dogs bury them and they come back and have them.
That's right.
Okay. Pet waste, for example, dogs or cat.
That's because they, in a lot of cases, Montavious doesn't have the problem. A lot of them have worms, and worms you do not want to get in your compost.
Yeah, because when you compost and you have worms, those are a different type of worms.
Yeah.
That other than your animal.
But these are the little things that look like little spears. Cats are really famous for having them too.
Okay. Oh, that's why they also tell women not to have cats when they're pregnant.
That's right.
Now here's one that you may not have thought about, which is yard trimmings. So this is plants that might have been treated with chemical pesticides.
Because they'll leach out into your compost.
Mm-hmm. So that part's not good. Now all composting requires 3 basic elements. The green element, which is grass clippings, vegetable waste, right? Fruit scraps, coffee grounds. Browns, which are like dead leaves, branches, and twigs. And then water.
And heat.
Or beer.
Heat.
Heat?
Heat.
Well, how do you make it hot?
Because it has to be put in an area with sunshine.
Now, there's some that don't have sunshine.
Those are container ones. Those are closed containers, but it's a different type of mulching, different type of composting.
So you mean
If you're going to do dry, you have to have heat.
Because there's 2. There's slow and cold and fast and hot composting.
You want fast and hot over slow and cold, folks.
Yeah, because slow and cold takes 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? That's a good reason why. And fast and hot is 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's lots of stuff to do on composting. But go ahead, take a look on the internet. Take a look. Go to the library, do some research.
Oh, and then tip.
Oh, what's that?
Go check Jerry Baker on the internet, because he has Jerry Baker's website has books that you can buy on gardening.
Ah, so that's just the tip on composting. So for now, this is Notaspringchick. We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow.